Hello, welcome to the podcast of IPN Magazine. My name is Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan. And we welcome you to Let's Talk About It. Our podcast and topic for today is Mindset Readiness. Now, we already know what being ready is. And
Yes.
we kind of know what a mindset is. But what about preparing and being in that frame of mind? Do we really have to go through a preparation?
Yes, and sometimes we do the preparation, but we don't even realize that we do prep for certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
When I say mindset readiness, the first thing that comes to mind is if I get ready to do something, am I actually ready to accept it?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things that we do, like cook, go to work, but we have to understand that when we're going to work or we're cooking or even to just go into something that we're trying to do, we have those things that we have to be open to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to start by just simply talking about having the skills, having the knowledge. The right attitude is so important in that.
Yes.
Because if we go into a class and getting ready to start university and we don't have the right attitude, it doesn't matter what the instructor is giving us. It's closed-minded.
And not only that, the thing about it is not so much even with a classroom or having skills and knowledge. Some things are just habit.
Sure.
Some things we automatically do it by habit, and we just figure that when we get up in the morning, we're gonna go to the kitchen. We're gonna make that coffee. We're gonna, the kids are gonna be up. We're gonna be getting them ready to go for their day. We're gonna be ready to do our day, and everything is gonna be the same. So when you say readiness, I think, like you said, you have to be prepared. And you have to have an open mind to the fact that things happen. And some things we can't control. And I love the fact that the serenity prayer, I think that makes us ready all the way around, because we have to let go of things that we can't control.
Yes.
We can't control the traffic jam. We can't control the fact that the child might have forgot their homework at home and now wants you to go bring the homework to the school. There's a lot of things that we set and get prepared for, and we think we're ready, and we get to the point where we find out, I forgot something.
But what I'd like to say about that situation is the prepared person, after so many different situations, we start to understand what challenges that can happen.
That's right.
Now, if I'm on my way to a job interview, immediately that is priority. I don't want anything to go wrong. So because of that, what am I going to do?
Leave early.
I'm going to leave early, understanding that it could be a traffic jam.
Exactly.
Something could possibly hold me up.
And how about when we were younger? And we always talk about when we were younger, because things are not the same now. But how about our parents used to tell us to prepare the night before?
That's it.
So when you're going on a job interview, even though we're all adults now, maybe we should sit down and go over what we're going to talk about in that interview, how we're going to present ourselves in that interview, getting those clothes ready for that interview.
Yes.
Everything should still be ahead of schedule.
Yes.
Even though we think we've got plenty of time, a lot goes with being prepared, simply being prepared. And with those skills and goals and strategies, what about us focusing?
That's it. Focus and discipline. Those are my favorite two words. And I know on this podcast, you've heard me say that over and over. But once you get into that mentality, it is a certain mentality that you're looking for. Now, when you work, the more people you work with, the more that you're going to have to become focused and disciplined.
Yes.
And you're going to have to be a good communicator.
And not only that, be willing to accept someone else and their discipline. Because if I'm the type of person that likes to have things done on time, and you're the type of person that likes to run up into the last minute,
but that's communication.
If we're working on a project together, our mindsets should come together prior to whatever our presentation is, prior to that meeting. We need to be on the same page in order for it to go over smoothly.
Yes. I'm affiliated with a lot of different organizations, and the first thing I want to know from the other people, how would you like us to communicate?
Yes.
What is your form of communication?
Yes.
Am I going to text you? Am I going to email you? What is it? Do you want a phone call? And for me, I'll say I'll take all of the above. But if you need something done right away, you need to pick up the phone and call me.
Yes.
Because you don't know how often that I check my email.
And not only that, the thing about it is in this time of Zoom, you got the meeting thing, you got the WebEx, you got different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
What I found out is you also have to ask, what kind of platform are you used to?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you tell me to go to Zoom and I don't know how to get on Zoom, or you tell me how to go to Google Meets and I don't know how to use Google Meets or Slack or any of the other programs,
Mm-hmm.
now we still have a communication problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure that mindset readiness is not just our mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for us
Mm-hmm.
to sit back and say, I got to get myself mentally prepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to join in and get us mentally prepared for this.
Yes.
It might have to work both ways. A lot of times we also find challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And those challenges may not so much be, like we've already mentioned a few, as far as things we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about communication. But what are some of the other challenges we might find in trying to prepare ourselves?
Some of the things can actually go back to all the things that we talk about in the podcast will frequently be visited again.
Yes.
But we're thinking that we have everything together, but we don't think about challenges as far as our health.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're getting ready to form a new business and something fails.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got this health situation going on. There's nothing you can do about that.
Exactly.
But what comes into the mindset is that a person that's truly together can understand
Mm-hmm.
from the rest of the staff or other friends that these things do happen. And in doing so, when you've got the mindset readiness, you've already got a plan B. And it's like being the Girl Scout,
yes,
you know?
Yes. And not only that, the thing that we have to understand, especially with businesses as entrepreneurs, we have to understand there is no race. What is the race?
Mm-hmm.
What is the hurry? I find that if you take your time, you skip over a lot of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
But when you rush into it, and you forget to do this, and you
Mm-hmm.
forget to do that, or you skip this part, and you
Mm-hmm.
forget to do that, a lot of times, especially dealing with authors and dealing with what I deal with a lot of, dealing with that, you can't skip an editor.
Mm-hmm.
You can't skip getting your ISBN.
Mm-hmm.
These are not things you can't say. I had a gentleman a couple of weeks ago, and I had to laugh about it every time I think about it. I put a quote up that was a quote by someone else. I don't even know how old the quote was, but their name was there, and it said it was their quote. And he said, "Oh, that's in my book that I'm getting ready to publish." Well, sir, it's not in your book yet. And it has already been said, and you're getting ready. And all I told him was, well, we need to get that book out there. It's
Mm-hmm.
got to be interesting if it's got part of this quote in it. But understand that means nothing to no one until you've completed the project.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more important about what you put in the project than to have a completion date.
Mm-hmm.
I could say that I'm going to have it ready in 2 or 3 months, but if I'm going to skip over steps, then my mind is not really set on a completed project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to remember too. You can't, it's not a rush. You have to take your time.
But
You have to.
that goes back into knowledge and skills.
Yes. Yes.
Because in every area, you've got to have something to back you up
Mm-hmm.
to say, what is it that I know about this area?
Exactly. And how am I going to improve on what I do if I make skips and I go around things
Mm-hmm.
and I say, well, you know what, I need it by Friday, but I'm going to leave this paragraph out, or I'm going to leave this out because I can't get it all done by Friday. No, you can't skip it. To make it complete,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier. And people understand it.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you gotten a call where someone said, we didn't get it done by today, but we guarantee you it will be finished by tomorrow?
I'll give you a perfect example because you have a magazine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
ISBN magazine. You've got different articles in there.
Exactly.
And so you've got featured article. But when you're having the little side articles, do you just want anyone to put an article in that you don't know the backing behind it?
You have to review it.
You have to review it, and then you need to know if this person is knowledgeable in this area, or do you need to do a disclaimer of these are my opinions in reference to
Exactly
what I'm about to talk about.
Exactly.
So skills and knowledge is going to come into that mindset.
And the mindset of not being frustrated. A lot of times we forget that our talent is our talent, our creativity is our creativity. But in doing it, let's not get frustrated about what doesn't get done or what takes a little more time. And I think that's we're in the world where everything is instant.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't be instant with everything that we do.
No.
There are some things that take time to build. And it takes time to build our skills. It takes time to build our knowledge, our resources.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things get lined up, but it takes time.
Yes.
It takes time. Mindset readiness is not an overnight process.
Right.
That's for sure.
And just to do a small little summarization before you give that wonderful saying that you always do at the end, we want you to know that mindset is about skills, it's about knowledge, attitude, and to be in the right place mentally, to know your goals, to know your why, your focus, your strategy, and you always should have discipline. Now, take it away, Nanette.
Well, mindset readiness, and you mentioned goals. If your goals don't inspire you every day, you need to set a new set of goals. We'd like to thank you for joining us this week for our iPen podcast, Let's Talk About It. I'm Nanette Buchanan, and I want to remind you to subscribe, comment, like, wherever you see us posted. Make sure you link in with us.
And we'll say, let's talk about it. See you next week.
Rewind the track, yeah.